Greetings gardeners, it's Amanda coming to you from the GardenWorks project, where we educate and support all food growers in their efforts to nourish their families and neighbors in need. So today, it's second week of June. So we're going to talk to you quickly about basil, how to harvest it, and how to store it so that you can use it all summer long. So basil, here I have my tomato and basil patch. They grow beautifully together. They love hot sun. So that's why I partnered them up here. So I have a couple different varieties. I've got this beautiful purple basil and then this sweet Genovese basil. So basil needs to be continuously harvested so that it doesn't bolt or shoot up a flower, indicating that it's done for the season. The more you harvest, the more it will grow and it'll kind of bush out. So how to harvest basil is you want to pinch off the stem right above a new set of leaves. So here, I'm going to pinch this off and I'm going to put it in a glass with a little bit of water. You want to go right above a new set of leaves, never more than 2 sets down, because then it has to regenerate more. So again, above the set of leaves here, into a little glass of water. Both varieties. So I'm going to take this above the little sets of leaves where new growth will come, and this will go in a glass. Just the end of the stem is covered in water, and this will go on your counter. Basil hates being cold, so you notice if you buy basil at a store, put it in the fridge, within a couple days usually it will turn black. So this can sit on your counter for a couple of days. You can also replant basil. If you keep it in water long enough, it will grow little roots that can then be stuck in the ground and replanted. Today I want to talk about kale. This particular type of kale is Tuscan kale. I'm going to show you how to harvest it and to store it. So whether you have Tuscan kale or curly kale or red Russian kale, once they're past the baby green section where you would just cut it off and throw it into a salad, they all are harvested typically the same way. And it's good that I'm doing some harvesting today because this kale plant has bolted. So it has determined that it is so hot that it is shooting up the center stalk and flowering to try to set some new seeds. So that's what bolting means, and it typically comes when it is very hot. So it's using its last bits of energy to propagate. So that's where we are right now. I have planted this kale plant in a container on my deck. You can also grow it in a garden. I use it because it's so beautiful as an edible landscape, but again, you can grow it in a garden, and you would harvest it the same way. So as opposed to leaves like basil where you would harvest from the top down, with kale you harvest from the bottom up. So you would take the bottom leaves and you would cut as close to the stem as possible. A few rows, whatever you need, like so. And that's how you would harvest, so from the bottom up. So this stalk will continue to grow, and I can continue to pull leaves from the bottom up. So once you have the leaves, with any leaf in particular, you want to immediately, if it's really hot out, you want to plunge it into cold water so that it doesn't wilt. Once it's been washed and rinsed, spun dry, or wrung out in a towel, the best way to keep it for the longest period of time is in a plastic bag that you have poked with a pin. So I use this big fat safety pin, and you can poke about 10 holes in this, and then throw your greens in the bag and throw in a paper towel, maybe just a little spritz, little damp to collect excess moisture and to rehydrate the leaves going forward. And then they should stay in your refrigerator for a couple weeks actually. I want to take a quick second and talk about mint, which is a great herb to have for drinks and desserts, and as we come into the summer, I throw it into everything. And I wanted to show you, this is a designated mint patch because mint is incredibly invasive. It will spread all over, and I'll show you where I have mint that I've let spread. But this little patch is surrounded with concrete. So I have 2 different types of mint here. I have big leaf mojito variety of mint, for obvious reasons, for cocktails and drinks. It's a very distinct mint flavor. And then I have spearmint. So they've spread out, and I planted this last year. This is just the second year. It's a perennial. It comes back and it spreads. So luckily this is contained in concrete, and I'm going to show you how to harvest it. Much like basil, you're going to come in and you're going to pinch off just above new leaves right here. Boom. Two sets down, and then this is going to be stored, much like our basil, in a glass where the tip is just in water. So I'm going to take off another set here, just above new leaves, pinch it off,